National Center of Women Playwrights. She is a proud member of National Writers Union and Dramatists Guild. That's a lot of words. Author of The Hounding, the #1 bestseller for 1999 for ebookshop.com. Published October 99 by Die Fiction Works. Sandra is an active playwright. She lives in Portland, Oregon. Sandra.
So I write mysteries, and the first one is The Hounding, and then the next one, which will be out in a month or so, is The Illustrious Client. If you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, you might recognize those titles as being derived from A. Conan Doyle's stories. The Hounding of the Baskervilles, and The Illustrious Client is from The Adventures of the Illustrious Client. Okay. All right, thanks. So in my series, it's a female Sherlock Holmes named Shirley Combs, and there's a female Dr. Watson, it's Dr. Mary Watson, who is a naturopath. The stories are set here in Portland, and but what I'm going to read to you doesn't contain either one of those pieces. That's why I'm going to talk about them a little bit, because the first chapter of each book sets up the book with the mystery, and I wanted to give you a taste of that. So, The Hounding. Scylla can't seem to shake the nightmare. She almost gives up her daily run rather than face the possibility of meeting those dogs in real life. Dogs are reality for every marathon runner, and each runner finds a way to deal with them. But for Scylla, the fear of being attacked runs so deep that she feels it is part of her genetic makeup. She jerks awake at 5:37 a.m., the sky barely light as she sits up, shaking, sweating, her heart pounding as she listens for the heavy breath, the pounding footsteps that haunt her awake. Breakfast, newspaper, even the Today Show doesn't erase the feeling that the giant hound is waiting for her around the next corner. Finally, she dons her running gear and sets out, determined to do her 8 miles anyway. The Portland Marathon is 7 weeks away, and Scylla intends to achieve her personal best. She adds a light windbreaker to her outfit, tying it loosely around her waist by the sleeves, because even though the calendar says August 2nd, the temperature at 10 a.m. is only 51 degrees. As she crosses Highway 43 at Glenmorey Road and starts the 3.1 mile trek that becomes Old River Road, Scylla breathes one small sigh of relief. She knows this stretch of road like no other. This is the one included on every run, every walk, and every bicycle ride. This beautiful road along the Willamette River has more trees and fewer dogs per square foot than any other property she knows. Oh, sure, there are houses, particularly at the beginning and end of the road. And yes, homeowners have dogs, but for some reason not so many. And so far, she hasn't hurt any of them. Scylla always carries a pocket-sized can of mace and an umbrella for the express purpose of warding off dogs. She read somewhere that letter carriers open automatic umbrellas in the faces of their canine foes, and the dogs back up or run away. She tried it a few times herself, and the element of surprise gave her enough lead time to run away. The sky is overcast. The low clouds and tall trees seem to enforce a certain silence. Scylla's breathing is the loudest sound she hears. Her feet hit the ground rhythmically. 1, 2, 1, 2. She breathes in for 4 counts, out for 4. Her thoughts seem to float just ahead of her, pulling her onward, coaxing her step by step, mile after mile. As she reaches the 4-mile marker on Old River Road, she is halfway through her 8-mile training run. Tomorrow she'll run 13. Today is an easy day. She can feel herself begin to relax. Her breath, still keeping the beat, comes into her lungs a little easier. The ground isn't quite so hard as it was a moment ago. In the distance, she hears a car door open. There are no houses for another half mile. Either the sound carried along the river, or someone is parked somewhere ahead, probably enjoying the quiet. Now, Scylla hears the pounding footsteps, the heavy, slobbering breath of her nightmares. She stops for a second to hear which way the sound is coming from. At the same time, she readies both mace and umbrella. The dogs are coming toward her. She whirls and begins retracing her path. They're coming too fast. She piles on the energy, grateful for her years of running, proud of her ability to create bursts of speed when needed. The hounds begin to bark. They see her. She glances over her shoulder. There's a pack of them, big ones, small ones, mutts, hounds, she can't tell. Adrenaline shoots through Scylla's body like lightning. She knows she cannot outrun these dogs for any great distance. She heads for the river. She feels sure she can outswim them and doubts their ability to attack while in the water. Scylla slides and falls down the embankment toward the Willamette. Damn, a barbed wire fence. She stands up, desperately hanging onto her weapons, steps on the bottom wire and prepares to step over the top one. The wire snaps, and the barbs from the top wire rip through her pants, tearing her flesh and causing her to cry out. As she bends to crawl between the wires, one of the dogs leaps onto her back, bites into the back of her neck, and begins to shake her head viciously from side to side. The powerful jaws of a terrier snap into her left side with a terrible force. Scylla fights for her life. She sprays the mace as best she can, pops open the automatic umbrella, and waves them both in the direction of the canines. She knows that some dogs are rumored to fight for hours, but she has the experience of years of nightmares, horrible fantasies, and planning how she will escape should she ever actually be attacked by her greatest enemy. She can't believe it's actually happening. Yet the pain is excruciating, and she feels herself fighting to stay conscious. When the canines refuse to succumb to the mace and merely rip the umbrella skin from its ribs, Scylla drops the weapons and tries desperately to pull herself for defense, not aware that the barbs are by now embedded in the palms of her hands. The first dog continues to shake her by the neck, the next barking, snapping, tearing flesh from her leg. She can't see it, but she can smell the hot blood intermingled with the scent of the dog's bodies and breath and the fresh green smell of the undergrowth only inches beneath her nose. She struggles beyond human strength to shake them free and at last manages to rid herself of the first one. Then, from somewhere far away, she hears a low buzzing sound. The dogs hear it too. They stop their attack and run away. Scylla disengages herself from the barbed wire, stands up, and begins to survey the damage. A wave of dizziness causes her to sway, and a crush of pain hits the middle of her chest. As she becomes aware that she is losing the battle for consciousness, Scylla thinks that in spite of the pain, in spite of the horror, the actual reality was not as bad as her fears, because she felt proud of her fight and comforted by the approaching darkness. The last thing Scylla ever hears is the sound of a car door slamming shut.